Hello, Happy New Year. As it is, welcome back to my channel. As you know, I've been missing for about a year now. Well, in fact, not about a year, pretty much exactly a year, a little bit more. I'd just like to do a bit of a video explaining why I disappeared for a year. I know all the channel regulars know exactly what happened, but I sort of want to go over what I did last year. I know I've done nothing YouTube related. There was no other way to do it, really. It's one of those things, life happens and you have to deal with it. So yeah, it was quite a troubled, difficult year. And yeah, I've had to find ways of keeping yourself a bit sane. And one of the ways is to get yourself out and do a bit of exercise. So today I'm going up there. We're going to have a little bit of a look up there. The view's nice. It's a beautiful day. Virtually no wind. And there's a ton of snow on the ground. Right, yeah. While I'm on the way up, I'll explain what I did last year. And yeah, we can chat about it. Let's go. Right then, so last year, last Christmas, not the Christmas just gone, the one before, as you'll know, if you're a regular on the channel, you know exactly what happened. But my wife, Rebecca, she had a bit of a stroke, and she ended up in hospital for pretty much all of January. If I start at the beginning, Christmas Eve, Rebecca's been a bit poorly, and she's been in bed most of the day. I've had a bit of a fun time with all the DDF race a lot. Oh, slippy. And we did a bit of Wreckfest. It was all good fun. So it gets to the evening, I'm making the stuffing with me kid for Christmas Day, the next day. And Rebecca comes down from upstairs in an absolute panic, complete state. She's woken up from being asleep, choking because she couldn't swallow. So all of her saliva was going down the wrong way, to put it nicely, choking her a bit. She managed to survive that nicely, luckily. So we had to have a quick trip off to the local A&E, where, to be very fair, they were very good. They had her checked out very, very quickly. She was passing all of the stroke tests. They didn't really know what had happened, but she couldn't swallow, so she couldn't go back home. I got the two kids at home. I think it got to something like 10 o'clock-ish, something like that, and I had to go back. Had a bit of a crappy night's sleep. And Christmas Day we went back, and she was diagnosed with a stroke. She was put in on the stroke unit, and I think they expected her to get better pretty quickly, but that wasn't to be. And it's definitely not to be. So it turns out Rebecca has a hole in her heart, and what I hadn't realised beforehand last year was the lungs in your circulatory system actually filter out clots in your blood. So what's meant to happen is your blood goes into your heart, it's pumped to your lungs, gets oxygenated, goes back to the heart, pumped around the rest of the body, oxygen's used, and then brought back to the heart again. Sometimes along the way while it's being used, it'll pick up a few clots. Doesn't really matter. Gets put into the heart pumps into the lungs filter the clots out, and it's all fine. That's how you're meant to work. It's yeah. What actually happened with Rebecca is she's got this hole connecting two sides of the heart, and a clot was allowed to go straight from the deoceanated side straight onto the other side, straight up into a brain, and ended up sitting sitting in the brain stem and caused a bit of a brain stem to die, which is not good. Anyway, so the brain stem does all sorts. Turns out it controls your ability to swallow, and that's what got Rebecca. Of course, when I was researching this, I believe this bit's called the medulla, and the other bits of this part of the brainstem, they also control your breathing. So she got off incredibly lightly. Had it been literally millimeters, maybe 1 millimeter in a different direction, she wouldn't have not been swallowing, she'd have been not breathing, which doesn't even worth thinking about. But she was all right, she was alive, she just couldn't swallow. So I think the doctors got the idea that she's probably young enough, fit enough to recover by herself. But as she was in hospital, she stayed in the emergency one for what, 2 days, 3 days, something like that. You'd normally only be there for like 24 hours at most. So I think they sort of expected it to fix itself. I'm gonna have to stop. So she ended up transferred to a local hospital into the stroke ward there for what, 3 weeks, something like that. She was being fed through a tube and put in emergency up her nose, down into her stomach. It was like that for a couple of weeks. I think they decided it wasn't going to fix itself, so she was put in for a PEG, which is a tube directly into your stomach, so she could be fed on there. So that was about the lowest point really. Last year, the day she came out of surgery. For me, it was seeing her the next day and having to push her about the hospital in a wheelchair. As I say, the lowest point going that was. But luckily, it got better from there. Oh, now we got a bit of wind. Here's me spot, look. Cairn at the bottom of Simonside. Yeah. We'll get up there, have a bit of a look at the view before we get on with what I've been doing for the rest of the year. Cold today. It's a little bit hazy, you can't quite see all the way down to Newcastle today. Newcastle off over where the sun is. As you turn round there, over this way, you got the North Sea, which you can't quite see there, but it's over there in the mist. As you head round the other way, and the Cheviot's over there. Absolutely strewn in snow. And then you keep going around. That's the rest of Simonside, which Actually, I'm not sure how far I'll go up today. Where were we? Oh yes, lowest point of last year. Done though, done. The next day, Rebecca started to swallow again. Just a little bit, but that was the beginning of her recovery, really, and she's still going. She spent a couple of months half feeding on liquid food and eating very small mushed up stuff, but she's back to normal eating now, and that's really good. I don't know whether you remember, I'd already done a CBT way back in November, the start of November in 23, and failed it. Even though you can't fail them, trust me, you can. And I'd booked myself in for another one in December. That got cancelled because it was like this, it was snowing. In fact, it was probably just as deep. So that one got cancelled, and then they fitted me in for one in the new year, which I did, and I passed. It's one of the really good things while Rebecca was in hospital. I went and saw her in the evening. I just sat and had a little chat. It was nice, that was lovely. I had myself a little 125. After feeling pretty rubbish, I found that getting out on the bike, well, I didn't do it straight away. I sort of waited a couple of months. Must have been start of March sort of time. I decided to get out on me bike and start learning properly. It feels weird after just doing an afternoon's riding. A morning in the yard, afternoon riding on the roads. There you go, you can go and ride a little bike out on the road. That's weird. That's very weird. But nevertheless, the roads are quite quiet around here. And I was out every day, just doing a little bit. And I found there was something about it. There was something about going out on the bike. Really focused your mind, stopped you thinking about stuff. Really made you feel good, which was so nice. After doing a month, I think I did about 1,000 miles in that first month. It was a little bit every day, slowly building up from the little roads onto the bigger ones. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. So I decided to get myself a full license. I was off to what was Premier Bikes. Doesn't exist anymore, closed down literally a couple of months after I finished, so I was one of the last students there. Excuse me, it's cold. Paul there did a lot of my lessons on a 650 MT-07 Yamaha. That was an interesting little bike. Met quite a few cool guys doing all sorts of different stuff. Yeah, all learning to ride. All about my age. Seems something about it. Seems a bit of a... Do people say midlife crisis? I don't know. So yeah, I found motorbiking. I did, as I say, with Premier Bike I did about... What was it? I think it was only about 8 lessons. After doing the 1,000 miles by myself in the CBT, it was all just about really polishing little habits up that I shouldn't have, and just making sure that, you know, rules of the road are all right. Yeah, it was good. I went and did my test in June up at Berwick upon Tweed. I was ill, mind. The day of my test. The week before my test I got properly ill. I don't know whether it was a COVID or something, but I was like, proper runs. Too much information, James, too much information. Well, I got virtually no sleep the night before. I turned up for my test exhausted. Nervous as anything. But yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was good. But all doing all past. And I now have a bit more of a faster bike. which I'll show you at some point. I'll show you a small little fleet of bikes I've ended up with. Well, we'll get there, but they've kept me very sane. They've really stopped me slipping. Well, oh, don't be afraid to say it, James. It was a little bit of depression kicking in February. I think the bike saved me from that. And the other thing I've started doing is regularly going to the gym. As everybody says, it's definitely true. A bit of weightlifting's definitely helped keep my mood going. It's been a bit less over Christmas holidays, but I've still got there. I tend to mix the two up, get my bike out, ride to the gym, do some lifting, ride back, and that's really sorted me mood out. It's a lot better these days than what it was. I mean, that was the main reason why I wasn't streaming. There was no way I could actually stream and be entertaining, having what felt like the weight of the world on my shoulders at the time. So that's not all I've done. It's been a busy year, running around after the kids because, well, there was a bit of a saga with Rebecca. Rebecca couldn't drive after having a stroke. She needed to be signed off by a doctor, and the doctors took forever to sign her off. There was nothing wrong with her in a driving sense, but it meant I was doing the driving for many months, all the shopping, everything. It was all me for a good bit. What have we got here? James struggles to use a gate. Is it a pull one? There you go. It's a pull one. Oh. Right. Let's head up there. The end of summer. My neighbour came round. Well, used to be my neighbour, he's moved on. Anyway, he comes round and he's always been into his off-road vehicles, his 4x4s. And he's got himself a Defender in the last couple of years, Defender 90. And he comes around and he says, the rear chassis are a bit rotten. Do you mind giving us a hand chopping it off? Well, yeah, that was good fun. We got it chopped off, got it replaced, got the new one welded on, new suspension on, re-roosted a bit of wiring because that goes through the chassis and the Defender. And that got off, oh, nearly fell. That got off to MOT. That got off to MOT and passed fine, which was really good. That was a good thing I did. And then I had a lingering thing at the end of the summer to sort out. A little bit of leaky roof. The flat roof at the back of the house was leaking and was well dead. The base needed replacing, so I had to do that. That was a good few weeks' work. Luckily we had a good bit of weather, and that's it's a job well done. It hasn't leaked so far, fingers crossed. Yeah, got that roof replaced, and that led me into winter, which just seems to have vanished. I'm not sure how, it just vanished. Getting the kids back to school and all that, always busy time. So yeah, that's been this year. Stop rambling, James. Get yourself up there. And that has been the year of 2024. Land Rovers, roofs, poorly wives, motorbikes, I hope your 2024 has been good. I hope your 2025 is going to be even better. Come along, join some live streams with me. I can't wait to get started again. Maybe show you some motorbike stuff. Get out, show some nice rides up here because they're beautiful. I think we'll concentrate on iRacing this year. See if I can get the iRating up over 2,000. Be good fun to get back live streaming, but I think for a start I'll start recording a few videos. I've got plenty to do in the F-box, in the old garden room. I have to give you a tour of that at some point of where it's at. Yeah, there's a few little changes to the rig gone on, a few little changes in the F-box. There's quite a lot of work to do in there, so good few videos to come out of that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to just wrap up and say bye, aren't I? Because I could ramble on for ages with this beautiful view up here. Thank you all for watching. I hope you're all doing well, and bye for now.